Good afternoon, students. Today we're going to start with a new set. It's about the transitional period, the 14th century, which is the period that follows the medieval period, okay? Okay, this period is also known in England, in English literature, as the age of Chaucer. Chaucer was a great writer of the time, you'll see. Okay, so Chaucer's age, or the age of transitions. Chaucer's world was medieval, yet it was also called the world of coming Renaissance. It was shaken and stimulated by new ideas. Most of the critics agree with this opinion that Chaucer stands at once at the close of medieval and the beginning of modern world. Chaucer's age, that is to say the 14th century, was an age of transitions. These transitions implies a shift from the Middle Ages to the modern times. So the 14th century was very productive from the point of view of literature because great poets like Langland, Gower, and Chaucer were writing poetry in this age. This age can be discussed in four types of changes, okay? The main changes of the period, let's say, were of political, economic, religious, and literary domains. As regard politics, the period between 1337 to 1453 was marked by the succession of battles between France and England, which were known in history as the 100 Years' War. Okay, this war had a great impact on the English character. So the people started to feel a new nationalism. They feel more identified with their nation, and many changes occurred within England, okay? A strong feeling of national solidarity and patriotic fervor was engendered after this famous war. Then, as regards economic changes, in the second place, the economic changes followed the political changes, of course. In this period, the people were very poor. They suffered from poverty, let's say. There were also problems of health and hygiene. They didn't pay much attention to it. As a result, many illnesses and infections started, and so the people suffer from plagues. As you know, there was a very well-known plague that killed thousands of people, and it was called the Black Death, okay, in 1348. And it, the relationship between this and economic is that as many people died, there was a shortage of workers in the system. And so in order to solve this problem, the king introduced reforms to improve the condition of the workforce. Then, as regards religious changes, in the age of Chaucer, the church began to underwent, let's say, cases of corruption. There was a great corruption and materialism. The Pope of Rome himself had ambitions and aptitude that were other than spiritual, let's say. So he sold indulgences for the redemption of people, of course, to the wealthy and well-known people of society. So, and in the middle classes, most people were ignorant of religion, and they were careless of their behavior. So there was a person that started to make a change in this respect. The most important person who decided to reform religion was John Wycliffe, who has been called the morning start of Reformation. He sent his poor priests to and followers that were called lawyers to many parts of the country. Another thing that he did was the translation of the Bible into their own language, that is to say, English, okay? Not the English we know, but let's say Middle English. There were also literary changes, because many literary changes had happened due to the fact that French and Latin were dominant languages in this age. Gradually, through the works of Langland, Gower, Chaucer, and Wycliffe, the people began to turn to their native language. And so the dialects of England began to be standardized, and Romance and moralistic literature was giving place to realistic trends. Okay, that's a summary of the main events of this period. And now I'm going to show you a presentation with slides here that you may use as a guideline. Okay. Here you have the transitional period, the 14th century. As I said, there was religious spiritual writings. This is about literature only, okay? The Dream of the Rod is one of the example of religious writings of the time. Then you have secular prose written by Piers Plowman, John Gower, and Geoffrey Chaucer. You'll see that in your book of reference, where you may expand all these topics. And here you have Geoffrey Chaucer, works and biography. This is also in your book. It is divided into 3 periods, as you may see, according to the influence he received. Okay, here you have the French period, the Italian period, and the English period. And his masterpiece, the Canterbury Tales, which was written in English. You'll read in your notes that Chaucer himself made a great contribution to the language. Thus, as I said, the different dialects merged into a single language that was the predominant dialect that they adopted as the language of the country. And here you have, as regards the Canterbury Tale, here you may have the technique and the structure of this literary piece. It is an anthology of genres, because you may find different literary genres in a single book. Okay, this is one of the reasons why Geoffrey Chaucer was considered a genius. And these are all the tales. Okay, and this is all about this set. I hope you can find it interesting and helpful for your reading. Goodbye, see you in next class.